and welcome to week number 12 on a cold Thursday morning. I'm Gwen Shroyer, this is Brett Whitehead, and you're watching Brett's Picks, 16th year. Hey Brett, we've got a few things we want to talk about as we get into the show before we get into college football. Let's talk a little bit about college basketball. The Lady Vols not playing too well. Been defeated twice, both of them upsets, lower ranked teams, and so they're not off to a great start. However, the men have done okay. They won last night. They played Florida Gulf Coast University.
81-50.
81-50. So that was in Knoxville. Also, Bradley won a couple games this week. The girls won against Baylor. The boys won against Silverdale. That was their first home games. They've got games coming up. I think there's a game tonight. Knox Webb, the boys are playing. This weekend there's some games to be played. Next week, Tuesday, there's some games, and then we'll come back,
and we play Cleveland.
There's some games coming up real quick. Is that on the 12th, the 2nd?
The 2nd of December.
So Brett's trying to stay on top of basketball. Let's take a look quick at our first graphic here. This is the college football playoff polls, the standings that everybody's talking about. No change up in the top 5. Georgia's still sitting firm at number 1. Number 2, Ohio State. Michigan at 3. TCU at 4. And Tennessee at 5. Oregon creeping up to number 6. And then you have a host of other teams. There's been a lot of movement there. Ole Miss dropped down quite a bit. Alabama.
Number 14.
Alabama's sitting right there, still in the top 10. Anyway, there's a look at that. Oregon dropped out of the top 10 because of their loss. LSU is the one that moved up, so I was reading that wrong, forgive me. And we're going to take a commercial break, but before we go, anything you want to say?
Today is the Thanksgiving dinner lunch for the family.
Everybody at Bradley's
here
happy
at the school.
We're having Thanksgiving lunch. So we'll talk about college
Center.
football right after this message. Thank you, Mark, for that sponsorship, providing Brett here. Ongoing show reputation there you have with the barbershop is impeccable. Thank you, Amanda and Lisa, and taking care of Brett's head over here. Yeah. He goes over there, Brett Whitehead, get the joke. Anyway, he goes over there, gets his head nicely taken care of, groomed real nice.
Yeah.
You're looking good, Brett. All right, let's get into the picks. So here's a look at the pickers, the standings for those that pick these games. We had a little shift in what was going on. Colin was a little upset. I did some miscalculation and dropped him down to like number 9 or something crazy. And we recalculated.
Number 4.
And he got his wins back, and so he's back up to number 3. Brett's sitting at number 4. Mr. German, Coach Carpenter still sitting at 1 and 2. I dropped to number 7.
And Sawyer
holding on to number 4 with you, and Langdon. Nice. Okay, here's our first game, Brett. Big game here. Number 4, TCU playing against in-state rival, conference rival, Baylor at Baylor. Noon game on ESPN+. Who do you have?
I have TCU.
TCU with the big win. And I think Baylor might pull this one out, Brett. Florida at Vanderbilt, another SEC East rival. Noon game on ESPN+.
I have Florida.
Florida with the win. Next
big
we have
upset.
That would, well, they're both not ranked. So
And I have
Duke
Pittsburgh.
at Pittsburgh, and you have Pittsburgh. That game at noon on ACC Net. So Pittsburgh for you. And we're gonna see your face pop up here in a second. There it is. Look at that smile. All right, next
And
game.
those sunglasses.
And the sunglasses. Miami playing at number 9 Clemson. 3:30 p.m. game on ESPN. Who do you have, Brett?
I have Clemson.
Clemson. Next is the formidable Texas Longhorns playing in conference rival Kansas. And this is a 3:30 game on Fox Sports. You can expect to have a lot of hoopla if Kansas were to upset Texas and it being a home game, but I think Texas is pretty good. But who do you have, Brett?
I have Texas.
Texas with the win. Next is Stanford at California. This is West Coast rivalry, 5:30 p.m. game. The game's on the Pac-12 network. Who do you have?
I have California.
California. All right. Next is Ole Miss sitting at number 14 playing
At
Arkansas. So we have 7:30 p.m. game, SEC Net carrying that one. Who do you have?
I have Ole Miss.
Ole Miss should win that game. Next we have number 7 USC playing in-town rival.
At number 16.
UCLA. 8 p.m. game on Fox.
USC.
USC. All right. Southern California. Number 10 Utah playing at number 12 Oregon. Both teams pretty evenly matched. Oregon coming off a loss. 10:30 game on ESPN. Who do you have?
I have Utah.
Utah. All right. Next we have the big one, number 5 Tennessee traveling to Columbia, South Carolina to take on the Gamecocks. 7 p.m. game on ESPN. This, of course, is an SEC East matchup. Vols are favored by 21.5 points. And the over-under, those of you that don't bet in college football, I do not, but the over-under on this game is 66 points. That means both teams' total of points will be at least 66 points. That's what people are predicting. If you're looking for the prediction on who people are picking the most, 90% of the people are picking Tennessee to win this game, and you've got some diehard South Carolina fans. 10% of the picks are going their way. Who do you have in this one, Brett?
Tennessee.
Tennessee all the way. There's the helmet.
And my face.
We think that's going to be a great matchup. Tennessee should maybe even set some more records. Hendon Hooker has been a great visionary on the football field, great leader for Tennessee, and I think you'll have, like I said, some more records. What else you got, Brett?
You have Iowa and Michigan.
Iowa and Michigan, another
playing this weekend.
rivalry. Iowa usually pretty strong. Michigan doing really well this year. We're looking forward to next week's game with Michigan and Ohio State. That's going to be a crazy.
You have
game.
you have Boston College.
Yeah.
At Notre Dame.
At Notre Dame. So 2 golden helmet schools. Also, we want to point out about the tragic situation that happened on the campus of Virginia. A former football player got onto a bus and started shooting and killed 3 football players from Virginia, and other people were wounded. We do want to reflect on that horrible situation and let you know that Virginia will not be playing their football game this
Saturday.
weekend. They were going to be playing Carolina University, Coastal, but that game has been suspended. I don't know if they're going to make it up or just cancel it. They're going to cancel it.
Yeah.
So tragic situation there in not Blacksburg, but in Virginia, and just a lot of sympathy going their way and prayers. That's a horrible situation. Those families are just, horribly at a loss. That's a horrible situation.
You have Michigan and Ohio State
Next week. Yeah, that's
on the
that's what I'm saying.
on the
That's a big game.
26th.
One of those 2 teams is going to get knocked out of the top 5 and will not be in the playoffs. So Colin over here rooting for Ohio State thinks it's a no-brainer, but we shall see.
You have Alabama. You have Auburn at Alabama.
Yeah, next week's games, quite a few, which we will not be covering because we're not here next week. Also, Tennessee will be playing
At Vanderbilt.
in-state
At
rival. And
7:30.
that is the most heated rivalry that Tennessee's had for the history of Tennessee football. There was a time when Vanderbilt beat Tennessee almost every year until the General Robert E. Nealon came to be the coach, and the General set that standard of Tennessee will win and came up with the maxims, which are infamous now, and all the other things that make Tennessee what it is. So
It's at 7:30.
that's next week at 7:30.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
He was quick on that. So that's all I have.
And we
too.
will have some games,
In 2 weeks, we'll be back.
bowl games.
We will talk about bowl games. We'll talk about championship games first, but then we'll talk about bowl games. So until then, which seems like it's going to be forever, but it's not. Don't blink. Don't eat too much turkey,
And look
we'll
at
be
Trump.
back. Until then, for Brett Whitehead, I'm Gwen Shroyer, and we'll see you
On the sideline.